This is Dr. Vaishali. I'm reading from the book Substance of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Shankaran, chapter number 34, cation. The cation. And first listed medicine is natrum or sodium. Sodium is the main constituent of the extracellular fluid of the body. It is a reminder to us that the life starts in the ocean and seawater form the fluid. Sodium in the body help to keep the balance, or in other words maintain the homeostatic level. Thus natrum, as opposed to calcium which has a positive function, is responsible for the balance and maintenance of the balance of internal harmony. In the human psyche, one could say that the main anxiety of natrum is the anxiety of the keeping balance or the harmony. In the human situation, this would mean the maintenance of relationship. Natrum as an element is also known to be highly reactive and need to form a compound with an anion, means negative ion. It cannot exist independently. In the natrum side, we see that this marked desire to form and maintain a relationship, especially on one-to-one level. The natrum person does not need too many people, or but just a one, and very much dependent on one person or one relationship, without which she feels very isolated and therefore very insecure. This is brought out based in the delusion of the natrum car, delusion division between himself and others. It is the tremendous need and dependency on the relationship that make the natrum patient very vulnerable to hurt. Out of this vulnerability, the natrum person develop a fear of people and therefore try to avoid contact. While on the one hand, she wants to avoid company, she also dread being alone, which is mentioned in the rubric company aversion to, yet dread being alone. The natrum person are surely much more reactive than the magnesium and calcium calcarea person, and they respond with a great sensibility, especially to the feeling of others and also what others say and think about them. Thus, the natrum carb is found in the rubric very sympathetic. However, this sensibility is often suppressed. They feel there is a really no one for them. This is somewhat similar to the represent feeling of magnesium. Yet, unlike magnesium, natrum people are very much aware of their emotion. If they have been hurt, they tend to not forget, thus fortifying themselves against future hurt. Natrum has also an important role in the contractions of the muscles and in the movement of the body fluid. Such movement can be found in natrum. They are very emotional, especially concerning with the relationship. When disappointed or unable to form a relationship, they tend to withdraw and keep away from the sight of the people. Thus, they are often close people. Natrum muriaticum is the most prominent and most frequent used of the natrum group remedy. In addition, in addition to the above quality of the natrum, the muriaticum element brings in him hatred and revenge, as we shall see it later. Now, second one is kalium or the potassium. Potassium is the most important and intracellular cation. Almost 98% of the potassium is in the body is found within a cell. Potassium also influences neuromuscular function, and of a common feature of a hypokalemia is muscular weakness. And potassium, like sodium, also influence the electrolyte balance. The most important effect of the high potassium level in blood is cardiac arrhythmia. And so kalium comes in the some same period group in the natrum group, and has a similar feeling as of a natrum, like need for relationship and the harmony and dependence on the relationship. Yet in kalium, this anxiety is much more deeper, and he now needs not only a relationship on a one-to-one basis, but also need a relationship with the group or the people or the family. He needs much greater security than the natrum. Security not balanced by a one-to-one relationship. So he needs the family or the group, and the harmony between him and the family or the group is the condition for feeling okay for the kalium. In this context, we can compare natrum with the magnesium. Natrum needs one person and magnesium needs one mother for nourishment, whereas Kali needs a family and the calcarea needs a home. In the periodic table, natrum and magnesium are in the same period next to each other, like Kali and the calcarea. The Kalium feels tremendous anxiety without a group or the family. They can relate to themselves. Thus, the harmony and integrity of the family become the chief concern for the Kali. Which is mentioned in the Fatak repertory, anxiety with the fear when alone. If anything disturb this relationship, the Kali person get quite fearful, and out of that fear can get quite aggressive. Like Calcarea, this aggressiveness is restricted to the family, quarrelsome with the family. Rubrics are complete desire for treat them outrageously. Yet, means quarrels with the group of the family on whom they dependent. Quarrels with his bread and butter. This is mentioned in the Patak Matra Medica. Now, third one is magnesium. The main feeling of the magnesium is of tremendous internal anxiety and insecurity, but this feeling is usually repressed. There is a difference between the word suppression and the repression. Suppression means pushing down what comes up, while the repression did not allowing feelings to come up at all. I would say that the natrum person generally suppress their emotion while magnesium people repress them. The emotions are so repressed that even the patient is unaware of them. So the main feeling of magnesium is the feeling of needing the nourishment and the care of the parent. It is the feeling of nursing child or that of the fetus, which needs all the protection and nourishment from the mother in order to survive. This feeling in the adult seems so out of the place that they have to be repressed, but they continue to be active in the subconscious mind, producing tremendous internal anxiety and cause of which the patient cannot exactly pinpoint. The feeling within is of being forsaken. The rubric is forsaken, beloved by his parents, wife, friend, and feels not being of, which is rubric of magnesium carbonicum. The feeling is of being forsaken and alone, and very needy of the protection. This manifests as an anxiety that comes up from the small matter. Anxiety of such intensity that it cannot be understood. The patient tries to attribute the anxiety to some reasons or the other, but the knows that it is not the real cause. Another way the anxiety manifests is by physical symptom and pathology that comes up for no obvious reason. This problem can be well-known psychosomatic condition like a ulcerative colitis, lichen planus, etc. But this seems to be not big tension in the patient's life. They can sit with a composed face and honestly say that they have no tension whatsoever they're suffering from, and yet they have the most severe problem and the pain and condition. The cope-up magnesium patient can seem quite self-confident, unaffected, composed, and matter of the fact they not only take care of themselves but even seems to taking care of others, especially motherly way. What gives the strongest confirmations of magnesium is usually the dreams. The repressed emotion of the magnesium patients often manifest in variety of the dreams. These dreams are often symbolic. The real meaning of the drama is not clear. They may be dream of houses, weddings, fruits, etc. The sum of the dreams that recur in the magnesium patient are dream of falling water, children, dead relatives, and death of the relatives. In some magnesium patients, I have noticed that they may have dreams of dangerous situation, but there is no feeling of danger in the dream. For example, some patients dreams that they are standing near the flood of the water, but they feel nothing. They are just watching. Another feature of magnesium patient is dream is that in most of the dream there is a feeling of aloneness or loneliness, of having to face the problem alone and even having to help someone in danger. For example, robbers comes into the house and the patient is alone. Another theme is the theme of being left behind. Quite a few magnesium patients I treated had a dream that they were on the platform and the train departed with all the relative while the patient was left behind. Among the pleasant dreams that magnesium patients get are usually dream of being people, going for a picnic with the relatives, meeting friends, being with the relatives who are actually dead. One set of magnesium patients says that they do not get any dream whatsoever. Even when closely questioned, even after jogging their memories, they are not able to remember a single dream that they had in the past several years or even their whole lives. This in itself is a form for me a strong indication of the magnesium. It is extremely rare that the person does not remember a single dream. Since dreaming is a healthy phenomenon and total absence of dream indicates a severe repression, it is a further confirmation that there is a strong barrier between the conscious and the subconscious part of the mind. The magnesium patients who do not have any dream are usually the one with the most severe pathology. In such people, you may get two more indication like they might be sleepless and cannot attribute this to any reason. Sleeplessness causeless. This is a rubric of magnesium carbonica. The other feature is though they say that they have no dreams in the morning, when they wake up, they feel completely unrefreshed, as if the mind was active the whole night. This latter phenomena is also found in magnesium patients who do not remember their dream. They say, "I dream so much that I cannot so much that I completely exhausted in the morning," and there is no apparent reason in their life to explain why they should have so many dreams. This feature of tremendous anxiety, insecurity, a need for protection and nourishment, and the strong repression of the emotions are seen in the orphan, one who has no one to protect him or whom he can confide in. Kant narrates his experience with the magnesium carbonica in his lecture of the Materia Medica, which is mentioned below. I have observed, especially among illegitimate infant, those that have been concerned by illegal coercion, that they have a tendency to sinking in the back of the head. I once had in the charge an orphan where we had 60 to 100 babies on hand all the time. The puzzles of my life was to find a remedy for the cases that were going into the marasmus. A large number of them were clandestine baby. It was a sort of sheltering arm for this little one. The whole year elapsed and we were losing babies every week from this gradual decline until I saw the image of these babies in the magnesium carbonicum, and after that many of them were cured with this medicine. I have found that many magnesium patients have the history of being neglected in some way by the parents, the feeling of being unwanted in very early year of the life. For example, an unwanted female child after a series of female, when the parents desperately wanted to male child on a person who has lost his mother at a very early age or lost his father at a very early age, so the mother becomes too busy to look after the child, and the child was looked after by a foster parent. Such people tend to become a self-sufficient, non-demanding, and repress their emotions to great extent. This state persists even after change in their life situation later on. However, the history of such situation in childhood is not mandatory for the patients to develop the magnesium state. Such a state could have also come from the either parent of the patients. We could look into the life situation of the parent if we wish to trace the origin of such a state. Among the physical symptoms of magnesium, I have found that the most of them have a discharge that stain the clothes, and these stains are difficult to wash off. Other examples, perspiration stain the linen yellow and it is difficult to wash off. Menses are indelible or blackish and leave the indelible stain. Also, I have found the magnesium patient have either a craving for aversion of vegetables. The above picture, when combined with a certain slowness in a weak, chilly, sweaty, sour-smelling patient, is typically magnesium carb. This patient often have a craving for meat and fruits. The main feeling is that some mishap would occur, especially to the other people. Whenever a relative, especially one whom they depend on, goes out, they constantly feel that that person will meet with an accident. They can be very anxious and may start from slight touch. The theme of magnesium can be also seen clearly in the magnesium muriaticum. Here, the muriaticum element of feeling hurt will also be present, but it is worth studying the magnesium muriaticum. The main theme of the magnesium muriaticum is the 4-second feeling and disappointment or hurt. They feel the need to be independent and to defend themselves against the hurt. We can have many presentations of the magnesium muriaticum. For example, we can have a girl who is very reserved, has a repulsive, unfriendly mood, would like to strike back when offended but hold herself back out of the fear. She cannot confide in anyone and has no friend. She burst into the tear before her menstrual period. Or if, we can have a woman who is extremely friendly, take care of other people, and everybody can lean on her for the support. She is very friendly, but at the same time, she is reserved, does not reveal her emotions to the closest people, not even to her husband. She is very nice, nurturing, and very much and take up the professions involving the caring and looking after the children. These people can be patients, though they feel hurt easily. Physically, I have found that the magnesium muriaticum people craves open air. In food, they crave vegetables, especially cauliflower and the sweets. They have dark, tarry menses. They often dream of being left behind, means a 4-second feeling, or lost in the forest. It is interesting to note that the magnesium muriaticum has a dream of being lost in the forest, while magnesium carbonicum has a dream of being lost in one's own house.